People that pay for city property tax don't have to worry about paying for parking. But if you live outside of city limits, you may have to pay for parking now year-round.
Just a little bit away last night when they evacuated all those people off of that boat, and then because of the strong winds and Hurricane Ian, that boat just kind of flew over onto this side and landed here at Mystic Sea. I'm currently standing on Coldwater Circle, and there's a lot of people here lining the streets and several law enforcement vehicles. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see the scene here behind me.
And there we have it. We're going to go with that. Guys, it's all in the wrist. Clearly, I need a little more practice, and so does Chris. But Erica, I really encourage you to come out and try and show us your own bull wrangling skills.
One of those bullets actually came right across the street and damaged this business's window here.
Ms. Hamill, yourself, as this lawsuit alleges that you didn't recuse yourself from that boy's hearing because your son, David Hamill, was the principal at the time, just alleging that it's a conflict of interest. Do you believe that's true or not?
There's just no comment.
A piece of trash thrown outside of your car window can ultimately end up here at a pond on North Azalea Drive in the Surfside Beach area. The report shows it needs to display all sanitary rules and the latest inspection report and have all estheticians display their licenses. But the report also notes that the inspector found several licenses didn't match current employees. Kepler's traffic ticket shows his blood alcohol level that September night was nearly 3 times the legal limit. He told the officer he only intended to travel less than a mile before he hit Webster. But this wasn't Kepler's first ticket. A judge dropped his April 2022 DUI charge to reckless driving. Webster feels South Carolina law allows for repeat DUI offenses. And with the lengthy statute, a prosecutor I spoke with says she agrees.
Now we're told we have to get out. We have nowhere to go.
For some, White Sands Motel is just another place to stay when visiting Myrtle Beach. But for these people, it's their home. They're being forced to leave after Myrtle Beach code enforcement deemed the motel unsafe to live in.
It's horrible. It's our only home. It's hot in the summertime. You know, you're dealing with the smells of what was going on and everything. And we had to deal with it all last night with the door open, and we had no place to go. It's hot. You got to work, you know, and you just come home to this.
The city says a plumbing issue forced White Sands shut yesterday. Residents say sewage flooded their entire homes that have black mold. They say their air conditionings were shut off and were told their electricity will be as well. The city says they were made aware of the unlivable conditions and worked with housing shelters, Echo, and New Directions. But city leaders say they don't know if there is space for these dozens of families.
This is a bit of a weird situation. It's not a normal situation, obviously, because we're not only dealing with our ordinances and our laws, we're also dealing with the fact that we are ultimately the owner of that property.
The city says they took ownership of White Sands on June 28th of this year and were already planning on closing the building on August 30th. But this plumbing issue, residents blame the property's original owner, Bushra Bayham, who we tried to pay a visit, could have been prevented.
What are we supposed to do? You know, where is the help in Myrtle Beach? Where is the funding? Echo can't help us, but where are we gonna be?
I cannot run the business if the customers they are not paying the rent. I cannot pay for my power and the water and the gas and the insurance if the customers they are not paying the rent. I toured the building and they having a situation for plumbing. The city came, they find the plumbing problem. The city shut down the building because there is a plumbing problems over there.
Sounds of drilling and hammering now fill the air along 54th Avenue North after Hurricane Idalia brought an unexpected tornado to Cherry Grove in North Myrtle Beach.
The wind kind of got up some, and I'm like, man, that's a good gust of wind. Then all of a sudden that, whoo, just for a few seconds. And it just tore everything up in that, just a couple of seconds, it tore all this up.
This is the exact moment the tornado ripped through the area, having forceful winds shake homes and sent heavy objects flying. Its impacts now causing locals like Mitch Mooney and his grandson Austin to spend their days fixing their homes.
It tore everything off of there. It blew. I had this shower was slammed full of coolers and chairs and stuff. It pulled them all out, ripped those 2 walls off, ripped that post off up there and those two railings, blew my AC off, and blew the side off of their house. I got two in the top on the bottom one.
Mooney says severe weather like this isn't something anyone looks forward to, especially the aftermath. And although Mooney will have to buy another AC unit, there's one thing he knows he doesn't have to worry about spending a penny on.
This is a great street to live on. It really is. I'm way more thankful for them than anything else, because you can't buy friends, you know it.
It's like a never-ending story. Kind of like a never-ending nightmare with a happy ending.
Ashley Ferris was driving back home from her parents, John and Carrie's house, when another car collided with her on the driver's side.
She was going up 31, and somebody hit her in the side and pushed her into the guardrail, and she took out like 5 posts. And they said that she probably lost consciousness, and she might have had a seizure then, but they don't know for sure. But then she was taken to the hospital by squad.
The Ferrises say doctors initially diagnosed Ashley with a concussion, but after a month of constant headaches, she had her first seizure. And that turned into a second, a third, and several more. Her parents say they took her to see a neurologist.
And then the very next day, she seized for 20 minutes, went into cardiac arrest, and went anoxic for 6 minutes. So she was taken to Marion MUSC, and then they were going to fly her to Florence. The weather was too bad, so they drove her. And they got her there, and she was on every type of life support possible.
After 43 days in the ICU, doctors gave her only 4 hours to live. But now, over a year later, Ashley is now on the road to recovery, little by little.
Me and a friend was sitting there and just talking, and all of a sudden she flicks her hand out, and then flicks the other one out, and then does it again. And it was just the little thing, because they said she was brain dead. They said she would never do that. So that was the start, and then the singing. I mean, when we got to the singing part, it's like, wow, that put me in tears, because we didn't expect it.
Love the people that you have, hold them tight. You don't know when it's going to change.